not to push back the title or the most important part of this discussion of this podcast is, there's been a lot of conversation around what's going on with Microsoft. And I thought, talking to Ross, maybe we should sit down and talk about Halo in general. Halo's had a wild ride, and if we're looking at the tea leaves, that things seem to be like I wonder if a remake of the first Halo is going to be its swan song or something, which would be ironic. Microsoft, just to set it up slightly, Microsoft created the original Xbox because they knew that they had the capabilities of creating hardware and they wanted to be competitive in the space. If you look at the original Xbox, it's large because they really just took off the shelf stuff. They didn't really heavily personally engineer it. It was really just a PC
cobbled together with what they had.
Yeah, in all respects, but they want to be competitive, and Bill Gates decided he wanted to enter that market. And the Xbox probably would have slid under the radar as a mediocre or okay console in the competition of it all if it wasn't for the fact that Halo existed. And Halo, I cannot understate the devastating role Halo had in the community. It solidified the possibilities of a first-person shooter on console. It's like, oh, well, we had GoldenEye and stuff before. It's like, dude, twin-stick shooter. Halo was like a steamroller. Everything was trying to be Halo from the get-go. How many generations after that we got, like, from PlayStation? Oh, the new Halo killer. And it's like, because they kept trying to compete with what Halo could do. Anyway.
Yeah, it's and I'm kind of noted, I guess, on this podcast as being like probably at least formerly probably the bigger Halo fan out of the bunch.
Yeah.
Halo was a huge part of my teenagehood. And it was. I mean, Halo is the reason I have an Xbox, an original Xbox. Halo, I mean, you don't hear this term much anymore, but killer app. Halo was the killer app. It's what sold Xboxes. It's what made the Xbox brand. Because if you think about it, I mean, there were some other good games that were exclusives on Xbox, certainly. Famously, Xbox kind of saved Bethesda and Morrowind. Morrowind was doing well, but it made more money once it got on Xbox than they would have made otherwise.
And it was glitchy on Xbox.
It had problems, but and so in a way we have Xbox to thank for like Oblivion and Skyrim. But and Fable, I'll get into that later, but like without Halo there is no Xbox. I kind of thought about this, like if Halo didn't happen, or if it didn't, let's say it flopped for whatever reason. I mean, what do you think? Do you think we would have gotten maybe 2 generations of Xbox? We'd have the Xbox One, and then maybe whatever the 360 would have been. And I bet that might have been it. That's my guess.
If they hadn't had Halo, Xbox may have tanked right then and there.
And, we can never underestimate the willingness of a huge corporation to lose money, but I can't imagine they do it for more than 2 generations. But anyway...
The Cortana AI voice for Microsoft, named after a character from Halo.
Mm-hmm. That's how. I mean, that's how important Halo is. Maybe was to Microsoft.
The Scorpio Special Edition of the Xbox One X has a little Master Chief etched on the motherboard.
Oh, sure. On the motherboard, really? That's hilarious.
Inside. You could only know it if you open up the Xbox.
That's awesome. Which only a lunatic would do when you first get it, because otherwise you can't. Your warranty is voided.
Warranty right there.
But Xbox Live, like even to this day, people talk about like because of how protectionist kind of companies get about like how the what they call the toxicity of players. Like, oh, you kids would have, had a meltdown with the Xbox Live voice chats. Like, it is synonymous with an era of online console gaming.
It established the standard of multiplayer online console gaming.
Yes.
Before PlayStation or anybody.
Yeah, and Halo 2 is the reason for that. Skill-based matchmaking. Halo 2. With Halo 3, we got, like, the Forge and Theater, which was, like, huge for player creativity that was built into the game. It wasn't like you had to come up with, like, you didn't have to, like, record it separately and do it. No, it was built into the game. You could just do this stuff. I mean, the Xbox experiment, I genuinely believe, would have not lasted had it not been. And the reality is, like, console shooters as they came to be wouldn't be without Halo. Or at least it would have taken longer. But so there's a lot of hubbub right now with Halo and Microsoft in general, and I guess we'll get to the Microsoft in general stuff a little bit later. But with Halo, right now it's in the news for kind of a couple of reasons. Number one, we have and I guess we'll hit this first and then move on to just Halo itself. The political aspect of it recently, with like Trump in the White House posting meme images and jokingly saying that the console war was ended with Trump. He ended the console war.
Well, to be fair, this started out with a GameStop tweet.
GameStop,
yeah.
Where they made an official statement that GameStop declares the console wars are over. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of funny to read it. Whereas for the past 2 decades, the global gaming community has been engaged in an ongoing, increasing petty conflict known as the console wars. Whereas said conflict originated in the early 2000s with the release of Halo Combat Evolved as an Xbox exclusive title. Whereas Halo Campaign Evolved is officially coming to PlayStation 2026 with cross-platform play. Therefore, GameStop, acting under its authority as a neutral entity in the world's retail gaming and trade-in destination, hereby declares the official cessation of the console wars. All claims to exclusivity are hereby dissolved. Console loyalists are instructed to cease hostilities, disband militias, and enjoy the new era of gaming. GameStop will continue to operate as a demilitarized zone, offering hardware, accessories, and trade-ins to combatants on all sides. Power to the players. What a clever marketing tool.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Not a bad idea, GameStop.
No.
Definitely tongue in cheek there, but definitely a breath of fresh air there in the in the ad space.
And then like GameStop posted that image, which is incredible.
Peace has been declared.
Glory to the Republic, as it were.
How come this looks like a Vietnam era diplomatic picture?
Oh, like a white. Well, it's because of the freaking drapes. They're horrible and yellow.
Well, whatever filter, the blur filter has been put on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's AI. You gotta have the piss filter. And then later,
for some reason, Gavin Newsom decided that he didn't like that Trump was attached to the drama with Halo. And the governor's office sent out a tweet saying, consoles more expensive, check. Games more expensive, check. Subscriptions more expensive, check. Not sure the Trump administration really wants to be talking about gaming right now.
Oh my God.
Oh, snap.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, obviously this isn't Trump. It isn't the White House. It isn't Trump that's talking about this. This is a GameStop post, and he posts that?
Well, according to this article, they say the bizarre political jab seemed to miss the point entirely. GameStop's post wasn't policy commentary. It was a joke about the long-standing console wars finally ending. Symbolically bridging the gap between Xbox and PlayStation gamers. But Newsom's attempt to turn it into a talking point against President Trump was met with near universal eye rolls.
Yeah.
Here's a tweet. The president is responsible for video game prices. Little Tizamy SpongeBob picture.
His mocking chicken face.
Yeah, and so for some reason, the console war became a political tool to bludgeon each other with. As Trump's, well, we have more memes. JD Vance's Cortana as fat JD Vance meme, and then Trump is Master Chief. And Trump also actually sent out pictures of him dressed as here's one.
Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah. Because Trump is not going to let these things go by willingly.
No, I mean, and God, it's just so dumb that Newsom posted that. I didn't know that. That's funny. I just found that out now.
Well, that's why I got the article up for you there, champ.
Bless you. But then, Department of Homeland Security also gets a hold of memes. And we see this, the Destroy the Flood meme with vaporwave aesthetic.
Joinice.gov.
And people freaked out about both of these.
People did not take it well. I'm just going to say.
No, they didn't.
Microsoft needs to sue.
If that post right there is any indication.
But it, brought up this whole, again, I mean, this has been discussed to death online, specifically on, like, X/Twitter or whatever, of, like, politics and video games, art and politics, and it's just, yeah. This and the other one led to Angry Joe having a complete and utter meltdown.
Yep.
Which was hilarious. And people kind of, I would say rightfully, pointing out the hypocrisy. Like, where were you when, like, all the Pride stuff was posted with the Halo account? No, nowhere? Okay.
Well, it's political shilling. This podcast doesn't endorse any side. The hypocrisy is probably the funniest part when it's related to culture stuff. Mm-hmm. But good Lord.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if it's okay for one side to do it, and then it's not okay for the other side, then obviously the reason you have a problem with it is because you are reading political motivation into the meme itself.
Well, here's the thing.
Political motivation in the meme.
If you care so much about the government using Halo for, I guess, whatever propaganda they're putting out, must mean that you care a lot about Halo, or you just really hate Trump.
Yeah.
But where was the rage and anger when Halo went to PlayStation? Because you must realize that this is a bad sign for Microsoft and for Halo in general, because it shows us that Halo is no longer the top dog it used to be. Where was the unmitigated anger where you're like, Halo is going to PlayStation. This is a bad sign. We should be really concerned. Where was that, Angry Joe? Or does it only matter when it's related to the politics that you give a shit about?
Yeah, and I think the part of the problem is, Rhett, I think you and I specifically, I think Jason might land a little more on this than most people, but like you and I specifically have the opinion that the console wars are a good thing.
Yep.
Competition and exclusivity is healthy for these consoles. It's necessary.
Keeps price down.
You can have cross-platform, that's fine. But the reality is, for these consoles to exist and be healthy and frankly affordable, they need to have exclusives. They need to be their own ecosystem. And for some reason, it's been built mostly because people don't like the feeling of missing out, I think, and they got that feeling as young kids when they couldn't afford to buy all the console.
The fear of missing out.
Yeah, and they think it's great that this is going away. And the reality is that's a bad sign. I think this also tends to lead into the fact that the Xbox brand shot itself in the foot, well, almost 10 years ago now, a little over 10 years ago now, with the launch of the Xbox One.
That was so bad.
It was so bad, and it really pissed off, gamers in a really bad way, and it damaged the brand, I think, irreparably, at least at the beginnings. I think it left a huge crack that continued to spread and grow to the point where we are now. But this all leads to, I mean, I kind of talked about like how Halo was was the big console shooter. I mean, it made Xbox, and Halo 3 was the online game on the 360
Mm.
until Modern Warfare 2 came out, which is 2 years after Halo 3 launched. 2 years. And it's not like there wasn't other games to play on Xbox Live on the 360. There was the Gears of War games. There was all these, I mean, even the cross-platform stuff that was big, like the Call of Duty 4 before Modern Warfare 2. Your various Tom Clancy games. I mean, there was so much going on in that era, and yet it took Modern Warfare 2 to take it off the throne. And even still, it would still come. It's not like it just completely tanked. I mean, there was times when Halo 3 outperformed Halo Reach. Like after, I mean, that's 3 years after launch. But then we get to the point where Bungie is done with Halo, with Halo Reach, and I'm old enough now to see where, because I remember when not everyone was happy with Reach. They liked the campaign, but the multiplayer left a lot of people not very happy. They changed stuff, and people didn't care for it. Things like Bloom, the addition of the Sprint armor core, that kind of stuff. But in my opinion, it died with 343 taking it, especially. And I've now lived long enough to see people like try to retroactively say Halo 4 was good. Everybody, I'm here to tell you, Halo 4 is the worst Halo game. And people will try and cry about 5. 5's bad, but 4 is the worst. The story's the worst. They retcon and have fucking fan fiction from Frank O'Connor, anyway, I can't get into that kind of detail. But basically, a guy that ran the community forums suddenly was one of the head guys at 343 Studios that took over from Bungie. And that was a bad idea. The only time Halo was talked about at all was when it came out and people hated it. That was it. 5 kind of had a chance to come back, but they listened too much to Major League Gamer types, to professional game players and competitive gamers, and it ruined it. And it went away. And their last hurrah was Infinite. I mean, because the MCC was there, since 2014, but it was not in a good state when it launched. It didn't get to be in a good state until just before COVID. But now we have 343 Studios is technically gone. It's renamed to Halo Studios.
As if that'll wink it a nod and make the game better, I guess.
Yeah. And I guess technically there's some change in management, but I don't think it's enough to matter, and it's maybe too late. But so once again, we're going with now that we have a remake instead of a remaster of the first Halo, which we've already had a remaster.
Yeah.
So now we're going to do a remake in Unreal Engine 5.
Despite the bugs initially of a Master Chief Collection, it's great. You can play all the games in one.
It is.
In one
It's
day.
genuinely
It's awesome.
really good. And I think the irony is that they're bringing this to the PS5 instead of Master Chief Collection. It's baffling because they've ended support of Master Chief Collection. And granted, it's in a state that's very playable now with single player, at least. I don't know about the multiplayer aspects of it as much, but co-op and single player, they're imminently playable. They're very good. And it's baffling to me that they do this instead of Master Chief Collection, and I know why. It's because Master Chief Collection, along with pretty much all the Halo games, are a horrible code nightmare, and they don't want to deal with it. So they're starting fresh on UE5, and once again, we have a new version of Combat Evolved. Campaign Evolved. Now, Rhett, I didn't watch the trailer when it came out. That's my apathy with Halo at this point. But I watched it.
So did I.
It was something to talk about. And number one, I am tired of Unreal Engine 5. I mean, even in this trailer, there was texture pop in, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
The problem that Halo 2 had in spades, and it apparently is never going to go away because we're all stuck with Unreal Engine. I don't know. What did you think? I mean, as someone who's not as big of a fan as me, what did you think?
So as a remake, like this might mean superficial or I'm not paying attention, but my initial reaction was this looks exactly. It doesn't feel different. It looked like the same fight on the beach in the one level. It felt like the same sort of stuff. It didn't feel like a grand leap forward for my eyes. And as far as how they presented it, it felt like they were trying to do the Ghostbusters 2016 nostalgia, like piano music,
Yeah.
where they were trying to pull on your heartstrings, and it's like, remember the good times?
Yeah.
Remember when you used to play Halo? Well, which reminds me of how weird this really is. That you're so hard up, like that. How many Halo games have come out and underperformed? That your conclusion is re-release the first one as a quote unquote remake on PlayStation and cross platforms. This is you're so hard up that you're redoing the first one to try and play on the nostalgia play of remember when Halo was fun and you used to play it back in the day, kids. Didn't you get that? The slightly slow, like mood that they attached to the original soundtrack in that trailer. And it's like, what is this? What are we doing?
And that's really well put. I mean, because as far as the intentions, like, I think you're absolutely right. Now, I'm going to just indulge myself a little bit and nitpick, if you don't mind. As far as the trailer goes, not your comments.
Oh, good. I couldn't take the ego hit there.
Listen, neither could I, pal. Like, we have an understanding here. But, like, number one, they've changed some of the design of the Forerunner structure, like specifically where you fight the hunters, because it's a 13-minute trailer, right? They play basically half of the Silent Cartographer level, and to where it doesn't make sense. Like everything's shiny and bright. This is 100,000-year-old structure. It like as far as like we find out in later games, like this is very, very, very old. And why is everything shiny and bright and beautiful? That's stupid. Like, just like a nitpick, I realize, but still, I hate hit markers. They've done this since Halo 4, and they're continuing to add goddamn hit markers in this game. Do you know what hit markers are useful for, Rhett? Multiplayer games, where the character models cannot react to bullets until you finally kill them. However, the beauty of a well-made single-player game, shooter or not, is that when you interact with these models, they can react. When you shoot them, they can in the knee, they can fall down to one knee, and Halo was really good at that, at having these enemies be reactive to what you do to them, whether it's shield flares or stumbling and getting pushed back from the impact of the weapon.
Storytelling elements to make the single player experience seem more immersive. That was sort of the original point of Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor was purposely attached to Spielberg because they were intentionally trying to create cinematic, immersive World War II experiences. Where I remember on one of the early Medal of Honor games on PlayStation, where it sort of blew you away that you could shoot someone in the leg and he would fall.
Yeah.
And you're like,
or
whoa.
They'd grab their foot and hop around.
Yes. And it's like, oh, this involves you. And one unique thing that Halo had is the enemies would panic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my gosh, he's here. What they call him, the demon.
Yeah. Yep. And Halo was really good at that, and was good at that through all of the Bungie games, at least. But they had to add hit markers in Halo 4, because, well, Call of Duty does it. Well, that's a holdover from multiplayer. Like, where these character models can't react, because otherwise it would be the most frustrating game in the world to play.
Well, maybe instead of chasing the trend, you be different.
Well, exactly. and the thing is now, that would be different, to not have fucking hit markers in a single-player game. It's a single-player game. There's no multiplayer in this. There's no excuse. But literally at this point now, it's like, well, we always did this with Halo games at this studio. Yeah, but you shouldn't have to begin with, and you didn't realize the reason why these need to be there. The weapon model for the pistol is laughably ginormous in Master Chief's hand. Master Chief's supposed to be like 7 feet tall. And in the original game, in Halo 1, 2001, they modeled it to where like his hand is so big, his pinky sticks out of like the huge like grip guard that's on the Halo pistol. His pinky can't fit in it, so it has to stick out. Like, but nobody thought about it. They just needed it to look a certain size, and that's why they just modeled it that way. Oh God, what else do we have? Sorry. Oh yeah, there's an ammo counter on the Needler. Hey Rhett, what's the original ammo counter on the Needler?
How many needles you have still sticking out of the top of it?
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant. Good job, guys.
Well, the Needler sucks, by the way. Him fighting with the Needler at that point, I was like, what a terrible weapon.
Did you notice that the board, like when the Elite boarded the Warthog and kicked the guy out, the animation was terrible?
Yeah.
And listen, there's a conspiracy theory. I just want to briefly mention this. That they intentionally put these dumbass things. Oh, well, that too. Yes.
No.
Halo Earth. That they intentionally put these stupid things in this game to then quote unquote fix, and then be like, "Look, they listened." We'll see. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're too stupid.
You think they're playing a meta game?
I don't. I genuinely don't. It would be funny if that's the case, because why would you put all that effort into that instead of just
that's really stupid.
The game?
Now, if you're playing a meta game, you do that behind the scenes. There's a situation notoriously that Mel Brooks would do, where with his movies he would put in one joke that went too far because the studio producers feel like they have to make comments and push back because that's their job. So he would put in something that went too far. Famously, Trey Parker and Matt Stone did this with South Park. That way, if they took it out, they felt like they were listening, and then they could keep all of the other inappropriate jokes. But you do that behind the scenes to push back against the studio. You don't do that superficially to trick the fans into thinking that you're listening to them and fixing problems. This is supposed to be a big deal. This trailer should be so clean and so hard. I mean, if somebody said we're doing a remake of the first Halo, after having a remaster and re-release and all of this sort of thing, it has to be unique in some way. If from my mind, it has to be unique. And what do you do to a game people are so infinitely familiar with? And you might go, well, they can't change anything because people would get upset. There are already other versions you could play right now that are functional with your consoles today. Why make a remake if you're worried that people are going to get butthurt that something is going to slightly change or be inaccurate or be wrong? I want to walk in to a Battlefield and feel like this is the first time I've seen that. It's almost like I want somebody to take an original game that I'm so familiar with and then feel like I'm actually there, like this is movie quality. Like they should have done a shot of the beach, like a slow shot with like the wind blowing, and I want it to blow me away. I want it to feel like I've never been there before and this is what it actually would have been like.
Yeah.
I want the graphics to be so intense that it would blow me away.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the inherent problem with a remake like this, because there are successful remakes. Obviously, Resident Evil is probably the most obvious series,
but it re-envisioned it, and it was so much scarier than the original because of the remake that it's a step up from what it did. You need to step up the previous experience.
Yeah, and whereas this So this leads into a discussion that has been had with every new release of Halo, well, basically since Reach, but really Halo 4, and that is the addition of Sprint, Rhett. Now, people argue back and forth about this. Obviously, I'm going to land on the side of Halo doesn't need it. I'm not saying no games need it, but Halo specifically didn't need it. Now, people will be like, well, just don't press the button. You choose the buttons you press. And it's like, right, but here's the problem. And it was, they had this problem in the trailer. Rhett, the Halo games, the campaigns are very well curated. They have musical stings, set pieces that trigger at certain points. And all that is based on player movement. Now that the player movement is variable, as far as their speed is concerned, that's going to be a problem. So when he, at the very end of the trailer, as Master Chief goes down into the structure, there is a musical cue that they completely blew by. The Marty O'Donnell musical cue, very famed, part of what made Halo great, they just completely blew through because you can sprint through it. And it just completely, like, there's going to be, like, imagine playing the Flood level with sprint. Is there going to be
just running past
running past everything?
Like, the library level isn't going to work now. So
because you can run past a lot of because the grind of having to survive the Flood was so bad that if you just run through it, it's then what's the point?
Exactly. And
amateurs making a game where they'd understand what the point of it was.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, that's why adding it to a remake is a problem. Where it's like, if you designed the game around sprint, which people can argue whether or not they did with the last 343 games, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I think their quality is in such a state that you wouldn't notice anyway. But anyway, like, doing a shot-for-shot remake now won't work because you can't. If you want sprint, you can't have it be curated the same way. That's just not going to work. And the thing is, I don't know. The problem is Halo 1, as it is still so imminently playable. I mean, literally, I can go put it in my Series X right now and play it. And it doesn't, like, it's not like going from Resident Evil in 1996 to Resident Evil on the GameCube. Like, they're not doing that because, graphics haven't changed that drastically. I mean, yes, they've changed drastically, but it's still a very beautiful game. Like, it's still, the art direction is such that it's good. And they're not doing that. They're not choosing to just, like, well, we're just going to spruce it up with graphics, and here you go, it's the game. No, they're not choosing to do just that. They kind of want to, but that's not what they're doing. And they're not doing where it's like, no more fixed camera angles. Like, this is a different game. It's still Resident Evil 2, mostly. Still the same story. But
it's
now
a different
you're experiencing
experience.
it in a different way.
Yeah,
exactly. They're not doing that either. So, like, what are we doing?
They should probably be doing something like that, where it's like, it's what I remember, but it's a new experience.
It would be the daring choice, right?
What's that?
Before it was first person, Halo was third person. And it was a tactical game. There's going to be squads. It's going to be more like Myth.
It might not go over well as a third person. That would be daring.
Yeah, it would be daring. I mean, I don't think it would go over well, but fuck it. Go ham. Like, listen. The reality is this because we literally see, at least with Steam data. I mean, I don't know about, because Xbox doesn't release this stuff unless it's really helpful to them. Master Chief Collection gets more players than Halo Infinite. The Master Chief Collection is technically, 6 years older than Halo Infinite? And the games are almost 20 years older.
Well, and that's the problem with Master Chief Collection. And what blows me away is why isn't it constantly at the forefront of everything that they... Because Master Chief Collection is the multiplayer for all of those previous games. Was it 1, 2, 3? Is it 4 as well?
4, I think, is in there, yes.
ODST, Reach, all of the multiplayers are there. That game is almost evergreen.
Yeah.
It could go forever.
Yeah. If they actually... But they rushed its release, and probably had people working on it that maybe didn't know exactly what they were doing.
Shot themselves in the feet on the release on the outset.
Yep. Once again, in that same era as the Xbox One, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's why, I don't know. It's just so this remake is such a bad idea, but they've been grinding their face into the wall trying to make a new Halo game that will stick with people, and it hasn't worked. To the point where you can go through and play the 343 Halo games. The stories don't connect very well because they pick up an idea, try to work with it in the game, piss all over it, and then realize, oh, well, no, we're not going to do that with this game. We're going to do something else. And then they just kind of like drop it. Like there's some connective tissue, but not very good connective tissue. And it's just, it's a lot of stop and start, you know? Like, oh, Halo's back again. Like they've done this 3 times now. Well, now we're going on 4.
And remember, Halo, we're going to do it again. How is this experience different than the up-resed version you did for Master Chief Collection?
Yeah, and famously, not a well-liked version. Like people will play it, but they played it with the original graphics if they were smart, because all that was a Reach asset flip. By the way, there's Halo Infinite assets in this game, so it's not just an asset flip; it's a remake. It's like, sure, kinda, like, like it just
They, you know what?
Hmm.
Not to derail your rant, because I keep thinking, I was like, well, what could they do to make this different? It probably focus hard on the individual personal cinematic experience when playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So almost make it more, do everything you can to make people feel more like they're in the game than ever before. Make the enemies more responsive, lean into it. Make it feel like a brand new game, even though it's very familiar, I guess.
Yeah, I think that would be the only thing you could do, because it's I mean, there's more to the original GameCube Resident Evil than just it's up-resed. I understand that, but like the reality is, it was still a fixed camera angles. Yes, they added some content, but really it was just, hey, it's that game, but more beautiful. Like, I think that's the only thing you can do, because I don't know what else you could do, because Halo 1 is still really playable in every facet of that phrase. Like, I can just throw in the original disc and play it right now. I can put on Master Chief Collection and play it right now. Which is
why it's so baffling that this was the choice.
Yes, and or in the fact that like it still plays great, even if I had original like hardware. The game still plays really good because it was a well-made game.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know what you do with this, because at least with the RE2 remake, it's like, yeah, some people really hate the fixed camera angle thing. We're going to try something different and give it a different feel. It's still going to be a scary game or whatever, because it'll be like more claustrophobic. But like
this nostalgia pop works with a game that was made in the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We didn't have another version of this that long ago.
That exactly. I mean, literally. I mean, even if you take the Master Chief Collection off the table, which you shouldn't, but let's just assume we are. They did this 10 years ago, not that long ago.
The PC version.
Yeah, well, it's because they did the Halo Anniversary.
Oh yeah.
And. But then you add the Master Chief Collection to the mix. It's like, well, I can just play this right now. Like, okay, and it has multiplayer. It has online multiplayer that is the same as the multiplayer that was in Halo 1, but now it's online. This is even better.
It's just
oops.
Immediately, I'm like, well, this feels like they're trying to chase a nostalgia pop for a 30-year-old game.
Yeah, well,
it's like this isn't though.
Gears of War, the Gears of War remaster is going to PlayStation. Like, hey everybody, remember this? Please remember this.
How am I supposed to believe in this baseball team if there's a high chance that the team is going to move to another city?
Exactly. And it's just,
yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, buy our merch. Why?
To me, there's also a feeling of we don't know what the heck we're doing, so we're going to go back to the first Halo, which everybody loved universally across the board. And we're going to do that because we have no clue what to do with Halo.
I think the only selling point is the novelty of it being on PlayStation.
Yeah, the thing is one of the things that I've been hearing as you two have been talking, and I've mostly been listening, is the fact that um, you neither of you feels that there is a hook to get players to play this version of the game. That any
Yeah.
player who wants to play it can do so. They
Yeah.
can just go grab the original version, or they can get the Halo Master Chief Collection, and they can play the original Halo. No problems, out the door, they're playing it. The only thing they can't do with it is play it on a PlayStation. They have to have a PC or an Xbox. So, like I said, to me, this feels like we don't know where to go with Halo because nobody's liked what we've done with it recently, but everybody loved the first Halo game. Everybody was trying to trying to create the killer app, the Halo killer, because Halo was so universally beloved when it first came out. And then you add on top of it that the only novelty right now is that they're going to be able to play it on Sony hardware instead of just on Microsoft um, adjacent, at least, hardware.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing I can think of is like, ooh, pretty graphics. That's it. That's the only thing
Yeah,
else
But
I
the
can think
trailer
of.
didn't give me the impression that the experience was that much of an upgrade over what we
No.
got in the Master Chief Collection.
It's real. I don't think so. And granted, I am incredibly biased. I will freely admit this. Obviously, anyone that's listening to this would probably get that. But like, on top of that, in my opinion, that is incredibly biased. The original Halo still looks good because its art direction was really well done.
Yeah.
Everything holds up. Like, yes, it's not mega high def, super resolution, all the pixels, obviously, but it looks great. Everything fits together beautifully. Like, Halo 1 still has my favorite version of the elites. Like, I
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
reminds me of I was having this conversation with Silver.
Mm.
The Shrek still looks good, shockingly, with how old it is. And you go back and watch Toy Story 1, it does not hold up.
No,
And
no.
Halo has a Shrek feel where it's like it still is playable and it still feels good and it still looks good. And it doesn't
Mhm.
take you out of it because the graphics are so dated.
Yeah, and that's why I think you're probably right. Like yes, obviously these graphics, like it's better resolution, all this stuff, right? The God rays, whatever. But you would have to for this to genuinely be a different experience. It has to be like what the Order 1886 was for the PS4,
In
or
experience.
like yeah, just so incredibly lifelike, like uncannily so. This is, I mean,
Atmospheric and hyper focused on the personal individual cinematic experience like you're in the game.
yeah, and the
And it
thing
doesn't have
is,
to be just graphics. It can be
no,
presentation, it could be
mm,
enemy AI reacting better or more
yeah,
interactively or whatever you got to do.
yeah, and the funny thing is, Halo One's kind of probably one of the better games you could do that with because there's so much of it's in corridors that you can probably do a lot of trickery to be able to still play this on a console. You know what I mean? And still maintain
yeah.
that fidelity and everything else. There's going to be a couple levels where it's going to be a real bitch, but like for the most part, you're probably going to like you can have a lot of like off-screen mumbo jumbo to
Yeah.
hide things. Where it's not like you have to display everything in front of you. You're not like it's not like an open world game. Um, but they're not going to do that because they're not going to put that much effort into this. And the reality is, I don't know if there's very many people in the industry, let alone inside the Microsoft system, let alone at Halo Studios, that have the passion, the knowledge, the expertise, whatever, any of that, to pull that off.
Well, they might have the passion, but I would definitely side with you on the expertise and the skill.
I'll say this. Famously, when Halo 4 was being made, 343 Studios said, like, we purposely hired people that didn't like Halo because we want to do something different. And that thing different was make it more like Call of Duty. I mean, Halo 4 was such an abomination because people forget how bad the multiplayer was, I think. It had loadouts. Halo's an arena shooter. It's all about map control and picking up weapons. Like, oh my god. Anyway.
Weapon scarcity and having to make a choice about what weapon pick up because you only could carry two was meaningful. And you might, and people listening to this might go, "Oh, well, that's just a thing." And it's like, no, it wasn't a thing.
No,
this is the first time it ever happened where they actually restricted you. Unlike Doom that came before, where you had like 40 bajillion weapons. Halo was like, no, you're going to have to make a choice. Do you want that sniper rifle? Do you want that pistol? Like, are you worried you might run into vehicles later? Maybe you should hold on to that rocket launcher, sort of thing. It became an interesting gameplay experience to have to make decisions on what you carried.
Yeah.
There was something there. And then adding all of, you get more weapons and stuff. It's like you don't understand Halo or what the point of it was.
No, and that 2-weapon thing, you can you can be used to be like a stressor, like in say the level of the library, any of those like flood levels where it's like, oh god, I just need to get more weapons because I got to kill more things. Or it can be used to do environmental storytelling, where like the Marines have set up this ambush to take out this vehicle, usually a Scarab. So there's like rocket launchers and like stuff hanging around, like stuff like that. Like, nah. Like that was not a thing, like you said, like that. And people complained about it. It's funny. People tried to blame the blandening of games in like the 7th gen with like the brown filter and all that on Halo, which is baffling. Halo is very colorful, but
yeah, it is. All the purple armor and stuff with the enemies and
bright green grass, like all that stuff. But whatever.
The browning was the effect of Saving Private Ryan had on the World War II shooters. Where basically everything had to be the World War II cinematic experience.
It was the Saving Private Ryan, the Black Hawk Down. It was that.
The Band of Brothers, yeah.
Like we sepia toned it. That was how you know it's gritty.
It makes you feel like you're in the movie. I mean, that was the point of Medal of Honor. That's why they had the beach landing battle, so you could hide.
Yep.
I remember I was watching a review from these local guys when I was living in South Dakota at the time. And one guy being like, well, I don't know why all these World War II veterans are complaining. All you do is have to sit behind the big metal objects and then wait for the red to go away from your screen.
Oh my god.
I mean, whatever, guys.
Fucking whiners over there.
Just wait for the gun to move after the red goes away and just run to the next spot. I mean, come on.
Hello.
So I have a question then, Ross.
Yes.
How are you feeling then about the direction that Halo has gone now?
Oh, listen, Halo Reach was a half disappointment for me. That's been 15 years ago that game came out. I loved the campaign. The multiplayer really didn't do anything for me. And so I came back to Halo when I was in college again, like later. And I played Halo 4 and I hated it. And I've been unimpressed with everything 343's done since. And this to me is more of the same. The fact that we have now the Xbox killer app. I mean, Master Chief is Xbox, period.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like Mario's Nintendo.
Yes, and now he's going to PlayStation. And it's like, well, that's a great sign, isn't it? Not only is it a sign of bad things for Microsoft, That's it is more of the same and further indication of how bad the Halo brand is right now.
Master Chief is making out with Sony, and Xbox likes to watch.
Yeah, Dad does. Yeah, it's just really it's really sad. It's not in a good place. It hasn't been in a good place. I mean, Halo went from like the multiplayer game to very much a sideshow. To like, oh yeah, another Halo game released. Meanwhile, Battlefield and Call of Duty were duking it out. Nobody cared. Like, and as far as single player games went, you had games like, and I'm talking more in the grander scheme of gaming, not necessarily just on Xbox, but like games like the Elder Scrolls games, Last of Us, that were just like eating their lunch left and right.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was a shooter, I mean, there was just better. I'm not gonna play this. Like
better single player experience.
No, by a country mile. And on top of that, like Doom 2016, great game. I mean, it's what that is another example of, hey, how do you take this thing that like things have changed, like people expect something different. There you go.
It's Doom, but a leveled up experience.
Yep. And the reality is Doom was something that was taking the place of what Halo was. And
your arena shooter, your run and gun,
and
overpowered heroic monster of a character.
Yeah. And Halo has just been a shadow of itself moving around. And I'll be honest, I distrust people who are still like open, brazen fans of Halo, because I don't know what sort of like head trauma you have to suffer to think that Halo is still worth anything anymore beyond the Bungie games. Like I have a hard time grasping that. They must have been children when they played it. And you start to see that where like people who are very clearly like 10 or 12 when Halo 4 came out are now on the internet talking like Halo 4 was actually good, everybody. And it's like, no, it wasn't. But that's
what is this going to be? The people who watched the originals when they were young, as opposed to people who watched the prequels with Star Wars when they were young?
Yeah. I mean, there is, kind of. There's going to be some of that for sure.
Well, so can I push against your doom and gloom narrative and ask you an interesting question?
Go for it.
Both of you can answer this as well. Is there a scenario when it comes to the remake of Halo that could actually turn this around for you?
At least maybe partially. I would say, obviously, as far as what it means for the greater health of Xbox, no, because they're never. It's releasing on PlayStation. Period.
It's a bad sign. Yeah,
that's happening. But for Halo itself as a brand, maybe. I'll just say before I get into like not what I've seen in the trailer. If it's that, no. But yeah, I mean, it would have to be like you said, where it's just like a really like it's a new experience. Whether not necessarily changing the story or anything like major, but just like high fidelity, more reactive, smarter, like that kind of thing. That would be really impressive. I wish that was in this trailer. Clearly, that's not in this trailer. And you know what? The other thing that would give me hope.
Yeah.
If they put Halo to bed.
And
I know that sounds counterintuitive, but how can I miss you if you don't go away?
What is it, the Star Wars problem of maybe they should let it sit for 10 years before we bring it back?
Yeah. And, recently we've had, I guess on the flip side of that, recently Battlefield 6 came out, and Battlefield 6 actually had hype.
Yeah.
People were actually interested. People were actually excited, which I didn't think after Battlefield 5 and 2042, I didn't think was going to happen again. And it did. Now, there's currently argument about whether Battlefield 6 lives up to that. I am on the fence myself. I think it's certainly better than 2042 was. But
is it possible that the love for Battlefield 6 is because they began to miss Battlefield, and not because they didn't make games, is because they're missing what Battlefield used to be, and that there is a possibility that they could make a Halo that recaptures what Halo used to be and actually recreates that scenario where I actually was missing Halo and this brings it back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think so. Yes, because I mean, I don't know if you ever played 2042. You're not a big like modern.
Just because you
guy.
wanted to play it, we played it a little bit.
But like it was so different. I mean, even the menu system was just baffling to like try and navigate compared to previous ones.
Yeah, I don't like future shooters. I don't.
Well, and they tried to turn it into like a hero shooter, whereas Battlefield 6 was like, "Yep, we're coming back. There's classes and like like it's more like what you remember." I think Halo could do that. Yes. The problem is, well, I think yes they could. There is a reality where this happens. It's not going to be this game.
At least not according to the trailer they gave us. It did not give us
that. Unless there's major overhaul, it's not going to, like, if it's what's in that trailer, it's not going to be this game.
Yeah, the trailer was like, hey, look, it's Halo in Unreal 5.
Yeah, look, everybody, it's John Halo. Remember him? You love him.
Yeah, right now I can't see anything, from just hearing from you guys, and then I watched the, what was it? It wasn't the trailer. But it did have some of they showed some side by side, and it was a lot of people talking and stuff about what they were putting into it and all that other stuff. To me, they haven't done enough to distinguish this version of Halo from anything that's happened in the past. And so I just don't see right now a compelling reason for me to shell out the money to buy another version of Halo when I already own the first two. I own both the original Halo and the Master Chief Collection. So why am I going to spend money on this version of Halo? You haven't given me a compelling enough reason. Now, if they, like you said, if they come out and they say, look, we've increased the adaptability of the computer AI, we have really focused in on making this a new cinematic experience. You're going to definitely see a difference between the original experience that you had and this version. Yeah, it's going to have the same basic story, the same basic structure, but you are going to feel more immersed. You're going to feel a part of the Halo universe more so than you have ever felt in the past, and not just give us those platitudes, but actually say, it's because of reasons X, Y, and Z that didn't exist prior, that exist now. I think that, at least as far as from what I've seen up to this point, that there just isn't a compelling enough reason to jump on board with this.
I could give you a scenario where you buy it. If the rest of us buy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that you play it with us. Because it's funny that you define it under the financial of like, I don't know why I would buy it. Look, I own the first Halo and I own Master Chief Collection. Why do I need to play it again? Unless the experience is a level up from the previous experience. That is, unless one of you buy it and then we have to play the campaign.
Yeah. Does it even have co-op though? Since it's not going to have multiplayer. Oh, it will. Okay. It will have it.
Yeah, it'll be cross-platform.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
We've played worse games solely because of co-op.
That's true.
Oh, certainly. I mean, yes. Listen, we were going to try to play Anthem, so
Well, I keep trying to argue that we need to turn into a Skull and Bones podcast.
Hey, we could get it now, buddy.
Where it's Ubisoft Skull and Bones 24/7 all day, every day.
Listen, you say the word, buddy. I'm there. All right.
We're Skull and Bones YouTube channel. Look forward to the change, everybody.
Yeah, it's happening because it's on Game Pass now with Ubisoft Plus, which is like finding out that there's like AMC Plus. Why does this exist?
I wish it were different. I have the feeling of someone in resignation because I've seen this happen to franchises I love over and over and over again. This has happened to Star Wars, where I was an obsessive Star Wars fan. I played every game I could get a hold of. I watched the films multiple times. I played the bad video games. I was full on board with the prequels, and that was like in middle school, high school sort of thing. I was super into Star Wars, read the extended universe books extensively. I've got stacks of extensive Star Wars books. Mm-hmm. And then just to watch something I love deteriorate to the point where I haven't even seen the last Star Wars movie. That's how much I've abandoned it and how much I feel like I've lost something I love. And then to extend that to other franchises, Indiana Jones. I mean, there were studios that no matter what they made, I would show up for it. Obsidian, until they made bad games.
Yeah.
Oh, freaking the Alan Wake studio. Respawn?
Remedy?
Remedy. Any game they made, I was showing up for. I bought day one Alan Wake 2 and regretted it.
No.
And just everything you love it does not have a long lifespan, because eventually the people who are working on a studio that you love are not the same people that worked on even the last game. People come in and out of these studios. So any of you going, well, this game is from the same studio that made something I like, and it's like, it's not the same people. And I know as much as we want to believe in these companies and believe that they're going to have a track record of success and quality, that's just not true. And it's never been true. Believe in the game as far as you can throw it. Believe in any of these forms of media as far as you can throw it. If they make a good game, then tentatively look at the next one. It'll look like the next one's going to be good. And if they disappoint you, treat it as a case-by-case basis. I mean, the amount of disappointment I've had with studios, because it's funny, it's like it used to be like Bethesda, BioWare, that sort of thing. And then BioWare started making games that disappointed me, and Bethesda started making games that disappointed me, and Blizzard started making games that disappointed me. And I always held on to the fact, it's like, yeah, but Obsidian though. And Obsidian still, even after years, could produce good games until we got our recent outings. And Remedy could still make good stuff, that finished studio, until we got our recent outings. It's like, no matter what you do, your team will always disappoint you, and you might keep rooting for that baseball team, but they're never going to make it to the playoffs.
So one of the things that one of you mentioned, I forget, I think it was Rhett, one of the studios said that they hired a bunch of developers that hated Halo because they wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
That was Ross.
How much do you feel that has contributed to these type of misses, so to speak, in gaming, where it just felt like the studio, instead of hiring people who would have tried to at least preserve the spirit between games because they loved the IP initially, and this kind of push to say, look, we want to make a new game, but we feel that if we hire fanboys or fangirls to do the game, they won't create something new. They'll just make more of the same, which is kind of what the gamers want.
I mean, stagnation is always a danger.
Yeah. I think I think the problem is now, so like maybe with Halo 4, maybe even Halo 5, but I'm not sure. I think it's now to the point, certainly with Infinite and most certainly with this game, it's been so long since those the good Halos, that now they think this is what Halo is. Do you know what I mean? Like
Battlefield 6 works because it's a predictable, traditional experience.
Yeah, whereas like now, like the people who are working on Halo, whether or not they think it's good or like, screw Halo, I don't think they're even around anymore. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, that attitude has spread across more than just video games. It was movies. It's how many times we've seen like a comic book movie where they were like, yeah, the studio told me specifically not to read the comics. I was like, why wouldn't you read the comics? You're making about the
You're making a movie about the comics. You should read the comics.
I mean, Witcher, famously the director of the Netflix Witcher hates The Witcher.
Yeah, which is brilliant.
Which is why the show isn't about The Witcher. It's about like the girl bosses around The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine, but that's not The Witcher. So make your own dang show about witches. Stop trying to ruin everybody else's fun.
You jerks.
Yeah, Halo's on the downturn. I suppose there's a plausible scenario where things get turned around for everybody, but yeah, it's disappointing. I love Halo. Halo.
Yeah,
I think the first console I ever owned personally that wasn't like a family console was the original Xbox for me, and Halo was the game I got with
same
it.
here.
Yeah.
And playing Halo back in the day on the little TV, it was a personal, important experience. I was always a single player guy. I never cared about the multiplayer. But I remember crawling out to sort of day one, pre-order Halo 2, showing up in line at GameStop. And it's just, these things matter to people. There's something attached to it. And nostalgia isn't enough to overpass the already destroyed reputation. Me and Ross were talking about this. Maybe you can end this discussion with destroyed reputations. Because, I mean, Star Wars and Marvel and stuff, it seems like no matter how popular and amazing your franchise is, it doesn't seem like it's that easy to recover from damaging the reputation of your brand. Because as soon as it's damaged, people seem to not trust it after that.
Well, not only that, but when the brand is damaged, those who have done the damage double down on it. They're like, you just don't understand. And then they show a lot more of the same rather than saying, oops, we apologize, and going back and like atoning for that mistake, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, and you know, I guess there's some like Halo fans for like the new ones, but it is not what it was. Like the people who loved Halo when Halo was big, they're not. I don't think they're really around anymore at all.
Yeah.
I think that's long gone. I think 4 killed it. At number one, they moved on to other things.
Yeah,
just part of either growing up or new games came out, and those were the big thing. Sure, that's part of it. But on top of that, people like me, like, well, you're not making it anymore, so I don't want to buy what you have, or I will when it's used in a game store, and it's like $5.
Yeah.
Goodness. I enjoyed this discussion.